Now, before we jump into creating a plate, let's talk a little bit about this window right here. It's called the outliner, and I referenced it before when I wanted to show you the difference between object and data. Let's collapse the object, and this basically serves as a great organizational tool to kind of see all your objects that are present in the scene, all of different types of objects. You can name them, you can organize them into collections. I won't go into details right now, but I just wanted to point it out that it's really useful tool, and anytime you're lost, you can just select your object right here and then, for example, use that period on a numpad to go to it in the viewport. So again, very useful. And now let's rename the object so we can take advantage of this and have our scene organized and tidy. So let's double click the cube here and let's call this sushi. And now we'll create the plate. So to create a new object, this is the first time we are going to do that. You can just go and click add here and add a bunch of different things into the scene, including mesh objects. But of course, there's a shortcut for that. So we can press Shift A and the same menu pops up anywhere we need. So it's really convenient to have mouse right at that position, because wherever your mouse is, the menu will appear there. So let's go mesh and let's add a plane. Now this is of course too small and we'll need to scale this up, and we could easily do that in the object mode, but at the same time we need to change the shape of the object. We need to model it because right now it's only a single plane. So the best thing would be to go into the edit mode. So tap into the edit mode. And that's another thing where the outliner will shine. You can just find the sushi here and click the eye icon here, and that will hide the object so it doesn't get in the way in your viewport. And now let's press S to scale. And we could easily just scale this up and eyeball the sizing, but I want to scale this 4 times. So you can also enter numerical value for scaling, rotation, or movement operations. So just enter 4, either on a numpad or a regular one, and confirm with enter. And now we'll just extrude this up. So press E, that's the tool that you already know. Don't go up too high, something like this should be enough. And now I'll introduce you to a new tool. And these two are probably the most powerful tools here when it comes to like creating a new geometry. So this one is called the Inset tool, and it's right here. And again, you can just click it, there will be a gizmo and you can use it. But here I want to use the shortcut. And it's really beneficial to use the shortcuts. And as you go through the courses, I will be reminding you to use those shortcuts. I will be training you to use them every time we're doing something. And basically that way they will bake into your muscle memory. And by the end of my courses, you will find yourself playing Blender like a piano. So don't worry about shortcuts. Don't be afraid of them. Just use them and you will see by the end of my courses, you will be fluent in Blender and doing things twice the speed compared to using user interface. So let's press I to inset, and let's do an inset like this right here. And then we'll press E and extrude this down. And basically that's all we need for the plate. So we can now tab out and let's name it plate here. Let's confirm with enter in the outliner. And now let's enable the sushi again. Let's unhide this and we'll need to position it on the plate. So let's select it. And for this, the best way would be to change our view directly top down on our plate. These are a little bit different because I can rotate the view, but this will be still perspective and it's not too precise. So you want the orthographic projection right here. And to switch to orthographic projections, you can just select one of these axes right here. And for example, if you click Z, you will go and look from the top. Of course, again, it will be very tedious to go here and click on these side views each time you need to do that. So of course there's a shortcut and I use a numpad for this. So for example, number 7 is the top view, 3 is a side view, and 1 is a front view. Again, if you don't have a numpad, you can use that tilde key right above your tab key, and here you can choose top, right, and so on and so on. So let's go for a top view. Right now I will press 7 on a numpad. And to be able to position this a little bit better, we'll now take advantage of the wireframe view, because right now this is a solid color and I can't see where the shadow is, where it's inset. So if you change to wireframe mode, you will see the inner proportions of the plate, and you can now press S and scale the sushi. Now, as you can see, I'm scaling it in the object mode. That means that I'm not working with the shape of the object. I'm not redefining its height or proportions or anything. I'm merely placing it in the world. I'm matching it to a plate. So each time I have like multiple objects in scene and I just need to kind of match them together without the need to change their proportions. I do it in the object mode and I don't need to go inside the edit mode and modify the original object. So let's press G and move this to the side. Again, the G stands for grab, but it stands for the move tool. That's probably only discrepancy I saw with the shortcuts up until now. And let's press S again and scale it. And you can see it's hard to match sometimes because the origin point is right here. That's another concept that you will need to learn. But for now, it's good to remember that each object has its origin point, and that's basically the center of the object. It's 0, 0, 0 coordinates. So the fact that we created the sushi around its origin point and then just duplicated these using array modifier, we didn't move the origin point of the object, of course. That means by default, it will scale according to that origin point. So let's press G again and move it right here towards the middle. And now let's press 1 on a numpad to look from a front view, and press G then Z to move this up like this on that bottom line. Now, if you think that you made the plate maybe too thick here and you want to modify it, the best way to do it is in the wireframe mode and in the edit mode. So I'll just click the plate, tab into the edit mode, and in the wireframe mode you already see everything behind, so you can just go for vertex select all of these faces, press G then Z and just move them down. You can just move them. You don't need to use extrude or add any geometry. You can just work with this just like that and make it a little bit thinner here, and then tab out of the edit mode. Now let's rotate this, zoom out a little bit, and I will switch back to the solid view. By the way, you can use the Z shortcut to switch the modes. And now let's go to the material preview. And of course, I want to add some material to the plate, so make sure it's selected. Go to the material settings and let's add a new one. And I want to add some dark color right here. So let's just click the color and move the slider down here so it looks like this. Don't forget to save again. And let's move on to the next part.